Let's start with our first page for the mini album. Now this page is a little bit bigger than what the other pages will be. Let me show you. It is 7 5/8 by 5 3/4. I use Gina K die, and that die is coming from the Master Layouts 8. And you can put a photo for 5.5 by 4 on this white cardstock. This was from the cutouts, and I've just stacked it all around, and it will look nice with the photo. This one here, it's just a fold out. That is 6.5 by 7 7/8. Then I've scored it at 1/2 inch, and that goes onto the flap, goes onto the back of my solid cardstock. The pattern paper, I've just put pattern paper on here so that I've got a little bit of a border all around, and I think that is 7.5 by 5.5. The closure. This is just offcuts that I use, and it's 4.5 by 2 1/4. And you need 2 of it. And then I do score it at different scoring, because when you put your photo on here, put photos there, and put photo here, you need something that it is cannot squash your photo flat. So the one that I score at 1/2 inch, and then I score it at 5/8 of an inch, and then that goes 1/2 inch goes underneath the flap, underneath the pattern paper, and I've done that the same with this one. This one I scored 1/2 inch, and you'll see I've got a little bit of a more scoring. I've scored it wrong, but I just left it there. Nobody's going to see it. So it's 1/2 inch for the flap, and then 3/4. And that's going to be my closure. And I am going to use Velcro dots for it. This I will put pattern paper on, but when I'm finished, I will see what I've got left to put on here. I've done my score tape, and I will fill the inside with glue, and this is ready to go in the book. The next page, I'm going to grab it. I use the same die. It's the stipple one, and I cut out 2 of it. So there's 2 of them. This is just a fold to your left, and I do have a tuck spot. That is a tuck spot. So this comes from the cutouts. I've glued it completely. There's no tuck. I think this is, yeah, that one you can put your photo through it like that. But that is, I've glued that on completely. And it's just this that I left a little bit that you can, you can still go and do your photo. This is from our solid cardstock. And then this one is the tuck spot. And I just cut this one. I lined it up with this. And then I glue it down. That is from all the cutouts, and I've just put it over there. Score tape all around, in the middle, glue, and this is ready for the book. Easy, simple, but it looks beautiful. So this is the base page that I've used the pattern paper. That is 7.5 by 5 and 5/8. Then I do have this from my white cardstock. I'm making just a plain pocket, and the pocket is 5.5 by 7. Score it half, score it half, score it half. I just want to make sure about my measurements. So that's right, 5.5, score it at half, and this side it is 7, score it at a half and score at half. That's right. That goes over our pattern paper for the pocket. Cut off it on an angle on both sides, and that's how it's going to be. I use an oval. Now this oval that I've used here, it is from Paper Rose, and that's the biggest one that I've used. There is, come on, doesn't want to focus. Come focus. That's better. Okay, that is what I've used. I use the bigger one. It's that one there. It makes it so much easier and a little bit interest to your for your photos. That is a tuck spot. That one I left a little bit there if you want to push your photo in, but this one you can put your photo underneath it in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and put my glue on and my score tape, and then I can show you when I'm done. My score tape is on, and I'm ready to do my glue, and that is the pocket. It is a nice, big, deep pocket. And let's put this in the book. This is the next page. I just need to see, we're going on to my notes. We're going on to the 4th page. Okay. What I've done here, let me show you. This is the pattern paper, and the pattern paper measures 7.5 by 5 3/4. Sorry, 7.5 by 5 3/4. My white, it is the Gina K die cut again, the stipple one. And then we do have these fold outs. The white cardstock for that, for both exactly the same. It is 5 by 5 3/4, and you score at 1/2 inch, and then they will go over each other like that. Doesn't matter which way you want. You can have it that way, or you can have it this way. It really doesn't matter. All right. The 1/2 inch is here at the back, okay? The closure on. So for the closure, there is 2 of them, and what I've done is I score 1/2 inch, and then I score 1/8 of an inch on. This one I score also 1/2 inch, and then 5/8 of an inch. It's a little bit bigger, so it closes over it, and then you won't squash your photos. So this is ready to put in the book. I am going to do my score tape all around. Okay, my score tape is on. So what I had in mind for this is, I need to turn it, otherwise it's going to be upside down. So what I had in mind for this, that one goes over. I did this. I cut that one out, and I cut the colored cardstock. So, and I still use Gina K Master Layouts 8. And I use the circle. So what I've done is I glue this on top of my white paper. And the die cuts it out exactly to leave that little bit of white showing. I was just lucky to do that. And then I used the other die to cut out the solid background. And then I cut that out with my hand, and I've just put it, glue it on. I want to use this for the closure here. So that is going to be ready to put in the book. I use this. This is on the other side of this beautiful paper. That's going to be my main base, and that is 7.5 by 5 3/4. What I've got here is a pocket, and the pocket is going to go around, and you can see it is a nice big pocket. So the cardstock that I use for the pocket is 4 3/4 by 8 3/4. And on 3 sides, you score 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and fold it over. And then we're going to glue it down. Now, I just want to give you a tip. When you do work with cardstock that I've got, it's very thick cardstock, and I try, when I do pockets and fold overs, that doesn't touch, because then I can get my corner nice and it's less bulk. And I left this one so I can tell you what I mean. It's going over, and it is very bulky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit more off, and let's see. That's better. Just that little bit. I'm going to go and glue these flaps down. So when I cut the base page, I had this piece left, and I wanted to use it. So it fits absolutely perfect onto my pocket. So that is going to be a fold and a fold out. So that is fitting perfectly. The measurements for that is 7.5 by 4 inches. Then I do have 2 of these. Just want to check my notes here. They are 4.5 by 4. And then score at the 1/2 inch and the flap goes underneath. And then it's folding out, and that is ready to go. Now what you also can do is you can have an extra pocket there, but I'm not going to go and do that because I don't have that much of paper to use that. So I've got my score tape ready, and I will put glue in between, and then I'm going to just put this straight on here, and then this will open like that. Let me do that. So mine is on, and I think let me see. Oh, no, I did. It just looks like that I haven't taken off the score tape there, but I did. I will come back for pattern paper. Anything that's left, I think I still got some. Anything that's left, I will put on here. Very easy page, very quick to make, and ready to go into our book. The next page, this is what I've done. The base page is 7.5 by 5 3/4. I use the circle dies from Paper Rose, the big one, and I cut 2 out, and they are actually fitting perfectly onto this page. The top, I do have the white in 7.5 by 5 5/8. And I've got the flap here, and I think it is, that is a 6.5. Just need to change my 6.5, my notes. 6.5, at the half we score, and the 1/2 inch is the flap, and then this is the pocket page. The colored cardstock that I've used is 8 inches by 5.5. The 8 inches, you score 1/2 inch on the one side and 1/2 inch on the other side, and that is what it is in the inside. Glue that on top of the white paper, and that is, so when you fold it out, you've got the pocket there. I will come back to this. I've got an idea what I want to do here, but it all depends on what offcuts of paper I can use on this page. But it is ready to go. I've got this one. I will put this inside here and score tape all around and ready to go in the book. The next page. I'm using the solid cardstock again for my base page, 7.5 by 5 3/4. And then I just got a plain fold out that is 7.5 by 6.5. And that's going to go over like that. That is so beautiful. I just wanted this to be a plain, so you can look at that. Too adorable. And this is all about this page. Depends on what I've got left. I can revisit and I can change and do something else on this as well. But this is ready. I can do the score tape, glue that on. I'm not going to put this in the book yet. In case I can do another fold out or pocket or whatever, and then I will put it in the book. So let's go on to the next page. We do have a waterfall in this page, and solid cardstock again for the base page. That is 7.5 by 5 3/4. And then for the waterfall, I'm using 6.5 by 5 and score at 1/2 inch. And there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what I did is the first one, I put that on the back, the flap, the 1/2 inch flap, put it on the back so that opens like that. The next one, I've glued that, the flap, on top of the page. The next one, I just butt it up, and then I'll butt that one up. And that is the waterfall. The pattern paper that I've got ready for this is all the doggies. So that one I'll have to glue. I'm going to glue that one on first. And I think this measures 5.5 by 5 3/4. No, I think it is 5 7/8 by 4 3/4. 5 7/8 by 4 3/4. As long as you can have a very nice border around. And then I am going to turn this one this way. And then I will have that one again. And the next one I will turn. And I will just have the plain blue. So this is the order I am going to do it. Let me glue mine and I can show you. I've done the pages and I've put them on. And I'll just alter them. And that's the last one. I will have some offcuts and I will cover all that. Now, I don't have a closure for this. And I found this that I can use. And I'm going to measure for you the lengths. They're both exactly the same. That is 5.5. Then I score at 1/2 inch. And I score at, I think that is 5/8 of an inch on that one. This one, I scored at 1/2 inch and then at 7/8 of an inch. You can see that is much wider than this one. And I am going to put it on this side. I don't want to cover that. That's too beautiful. I'm going to come in and put it over here. But this is still too long. I will cut that off. But that is how it's going to be. Depends on what paper. If I do paper, but I still want to cut it off. It's just way too long. So that's going to be the closure for this. And I'll just put this together score tape is on already, and then we will put glue and put it in the book. Let's do that. Page is a little bit different. We always use I always use 1/2 inch flaps to have my fold outs. And this one I made a little bit different. My base page, 7.5 by 5 3/4. This white page is 11.25 by 7.5. So what I've done is I've put it in my scoreboard, and on the 11.25, I score it. I score it at 5.5 inches and 5 3/4. That is, so then in the inside of my scoring, I've put glue, and I glue that at the top of my page. It's there at the top of the page. Right? So this is what's going to happen. You've got that little bit of the bottom page to show. You do have that to fold, and you do have that one to fold. And here there is no flaps. That is completely one solid piece. Pattern paper, I am going to use this on the top. I'm not going to glue it down yet, because I do have a lot of these die cuts or cutouts that I've done that I can use, and I will just gonna do score tape, and then it's gonna be ready to put in the book. Very easy, but yet there's no flaps. On to the next page. The next page, plain cardstock for my base page, 7.5 by 5 3/4. And then I've got two different sizes for the fold outs. This one is 7.5 by 5, and I score it at the 1/2 inch, and that flap goes to the back, and that comes over like that. The next one, it is 6.5 by 5, score it at 1/2 inch, and that's onto the back. Now I do have this to close it. Not 100% sure about this. I've got it down. I can always change it, and I'm just going to leave this as is for now. Let's go on to the next page. This is a very easy one. I've just got it a pocket, and I wanted to use this. That's why this is just a pocket page. Right. Base page again, 7.5 by 5 3/4, and I use the solid cardstock. My pocket is 8 3/4 by 3.5. Score it 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and fold it over, and that is the pocket. It's a nice deep pocket. Then I've done the cutouts, and I've just placed it. Use the flowers, use the little doggies, and this one of the sentiments. And that is easy. Score tape all around. Easy. I really enjoy making this because it's so beautiful. Okay, let's go on to our next page. Next page is going to be a little bit different. That is our base page, 7.5 by 5 3/4. Then we do have a side pocket. Now, this side pocket, I'm going to give you the measurements, a 6.5 by 6 1/4. And then I score at 1/2 inch on the one side, 1/2 inch on the bottom side. And what I'll do, I'll place it onto my page to give me an idea. Then this is where I go and see. So I measured in from that side, it's a 1/2 inch. And then I cut it so that this is a 6 1/4. And then I make a pencil mark, and I cut my angle. That's how I do my angle pages. Then we're going to go and put another one on top of this one. Now, this I've never done before. This is the first for me. So I did exactly the same. I measured. So this in total is 5.5. Let me see which way is. No. So 5.5. This is 5.5. No, that is 5. Just 5. And then this is 6. And then I score it on a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Fold it in. This is just off cuts that I use. And then I placed it on top here. And I make sure there's a little bit of white showing. And I cut in there. It is 3/8 of an inch that I cut straight. And then I cut from that point to my 5 inches. Yeah. And then I cut the angle. That's how I do get the angles. And that's going to go on top of like that. But first, before you put it on your cardstock, you need to do your pattern paper. And this is much easier to do with your pattern paper now than you're gonna when it's on the page. It's a little bit different. You can do it, but it's just gonna be a little bit difficult, should I say, to do that. Now I do have offcut of paper that I can use. Let me grab it. Now I've got this one, and I can give you the measurements. This is 4.5 by 6. So this was going to work out very good. All I will do is I'll put it on and make sure I've got a little bit of white showing on both sides. And just a little bit more. Hold it. Just hold it. Pinched it, put it down. I've moved. Let me do that again. Just holding it. And that's it. Then I'm taking my pencil and I make my mark. And I'm going to do that one there. So what I'll do is I will cut on the other side of my pencil line. Not on the pencil line, on the other side. You can always trim it, but if you've got too much, you can't add. I will use my trimmer, and let's see how that's going to work out. So I put on the blade, I'll put on my line, and I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm just going to move it a little bit in. Like I said, I can always come and cut off. I might have a little bit too much on this side, but that's all right. And let's see. Oh, wrong one. Yes. So I'm going to trim this down, and then I can show you. Right, so I did cut, I trimmed it down. So what I've done, I cut a little bit away from my line so I can measure it, and I put it on. So this time I cut the inside of the line. So this is why I do it. I give myself a little bit of room so I can have this cut right. And this is the only way that I can figure it out for myself. And if you've got if you're confident in yourself, cut it on the inside of the line immediately. But I found out so many times when I do that, I waste my paper and I have to do that all over again. And there it is. It fits in perfectly for me. I'm going to glue this on, and then we're going to do the next one.